The required, you have 60 minutes and there are 2 questions. The first question, discuss your concerns. So concerns are your negative thoughts because of maybe non-compliance or the issues that you have. So it's always a negative. With the appropriateness and the completeness of the proposed tests of controls in working paper A130. So in this working paper A130, they have given tests of controls. You now need to take those tests of controls and tell me what is wrong with them. Provide recommendations for any additional tests of control procedures. Okay, so 2 things we need to do here. The first thing, go into the tests of controls that they have given and find the issues with the tests of controls. So identify what is wrong with the test of controls that they have put together. And then 2, now that I've found out what's wrong, I need to go and give the test of control procedures that should be there. So for where I've picked up one is wrong, I want to give the correct test of control. And where I found that there was a missing test, I want to give an additional test of control. So the first point, I go and look at all the tests that they've done and I see if there's an issue with any of them. And I find there's an issue, I'm going to say, this is the wrong test. It doesn't test the control it says it should do. It is an inappropriate test. It doesn't do what I want it to do. And then 2, this is what the test of control should have been. And then when I look at what they've done, if there is a test missing from the controls that they have, then I need to provide the test that should be there. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do here, identify the controls in the system description and then compare those to the test of controls in the auditor's work, and where there's a control and the test is fine, leave it. Where there's a control and there is no test, I need to go and put that under my step 2, which is the additional procedures. And where there is a control and the test is not okay, so there is a test but it's not correct, then I need to do that in point 1, which is to state that it is wrong and then give the correct. So I'm going to have to work through that entire working paper, going back to what is the system description, what are the controls that they've gone and done, are any of those appropriate? If they are, cross them off, they're done, they're perfect. Ones that are not appropriate, I need to now explain why they are not appropriate and then give the correct procedure, and then go and look back, are there any controls here that I haven't marked off as having an appropriate test of control, and go and put that down. So it's a lot of work that's going to require a lot of back and forth to the controls and then the comparison of the tests for those controls to pick up issues and then additional and correct controls. Okay, it's for 18 marks. And so between my issues and then my corrections and additionals, I want to have 18 points, which I will then have 27 minutes to do. Okay, question 2. Design and document the substantive procedures. So remember, as soon as I see substantive, I need to think general procedures, analytical procedures, and my test of detail. that CA auditors should perform to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding the FinBank loan included in the 2022 financial statements of CII. Note, you should ignore audit procedures relating to taxation. A loan is an account balance, and so the assertions that I need to consider: existence, completeness, valuation, obligation, presentation, and disclosure. The loan was taken out in the current year, so there is going to be a transactional side because it was initiated as a transaction in this year, and so I will still have to look at completeness, accuracy, occurrence, cutoff, classification. So basically I can use all my assertions here: initial recognition of the loan using the transactional side, and then the account balance assertions for the subsequent measurements. I know that a loan will have interest and repayments, so I'm going to have to consider that. And I know a loan comes through the bank statement as well as repayments and interest. So I've got some additional supporting documents from the start, and obviously a loan contract. Okay, so just some things I'm spitballing, just considering, having just seen what I'm asked to do. It's for 20 marks. I need 20 procedures that's split between general procedures, analytical procedures, and my test of detail, testing all the relevant assertions and aspects of a loan. And I've got 30 minutes here. Okay, there's 2 for presentation, so make sure I present and I discuss my points in a logical manner. And if I were to allocate time to those 2 marks, it would be 3 minutes. So if I've used 6 minutes to analyze my required, 3 are free using those 2 marks there. And I need to now take 3 minutes from my allocated minutes per question. So I'm now going to maybe say here, for this I've got 25 minutes, and for this I've got 29 minutes. So I know now I need to reduce the time I've got for each based off the time I've used in analyzing these requirements. Alright, let's start with question 1.